Revelations chapter 12 verse 7 to 8. The Bible was speaking about the things that happen on earth. Please hear me. Everything you see happening on earth began in the spirit. The earth is the region of manifestation, but where realities are born from is in the spirit. And he said there was war in heaven, and when there was war in heaven, the impact of the war was not in heaven, it was on earth. The Bible said the dragon rose up against God and his army. It said, but Michael withstood him, fought him, and kicked him out of heaven, and there was no place for him anymore. Then he was cast to the earth. And the Bible says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, the great deceiver has come. The question is, why did the dragon come to the earth? I will give you one out of many answers. Listen, the devil has lived with God for aeons. He was an angel, and he was not just an ordinary angel. If you study the angelic realm, angels have ranks. Ordinary angels are messengers, but there are other angels that are princes, and the devil was a prince in heaven. So he understood God. Now, when they studied God, they knew that God had no weakness. They had been with him for aeon. God is called the Elohim. That means he is all powerful. Anything he says come to pass. Nothing can affect God. But the devil discovered that there was something about God that others did not know. And that thing he found out about God was that God loved man. Because after the devil fell, God started a project. And the project God started was to create another being. And the being God created, he called him man. And so in Genesis 1:26, he said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. No angel was created in the image of God. There was no record anywhere in the Bible that an angel was created in the image of God. For the first time, God replicated himself, and so man was actually an offspring of God. When man was to be created, there was no raw material for creating man. God had to breathe out. So man is actually God exhaled and kept in dust. And so the devil knows anything that affects man affects God directly. And so if you cannot hurt God, there is a way to touch God. The way to touch God is to touch man. Because if you touch man, you touch the image of God. And when you touch the image of God, you touch God. He knows that he cannot fight God. He knows that he cannot do anything to God. But the way to touch God is to touch man. And so the devil declared war with man. If man fails, God will be hurt, because he discovered that man is the object of God's love. And true to what the devil discovered, when man fell, God left everything. The Bible said that Jesus, the Son of God, came into this world. You may take it for granted if you don't know who God is. God is not created, he is the creator. God has no weakness, he's all powerful. God is not a man, God is a spirit. But in order to save man, God came down from his throne, took up the garment of God, and God entered the womb of a woman, and God was there for 9 months. God was born as a man to save man. And the Bible said all of that thing that God did is a revelation of his love. It said, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. So when the devil discovered that God loved God, the devil found out one thing: the only way to hurt God is to hurt man. And for time immemorial, the devil has been attempting to hurt man. And so Jesus was speaking in John chapter 10 verse 10. He said, the devil cometh not but for to kill, to steal, and to destroy. The question is, what do you have that the devil wants to steal? The devil is not a man, he's a spirit. He doesn't need your car, he doesn't need your money, he doesn't need your house. Man is the only creature that carries the fullness of God's glory. And so the devil knows that if he comes to you, he can steal something you have that is exclusive to God. This is why when man sinned, the Bible said, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And then you ask yourself, what is glory? Glory is not light. No, glory is deeper than light. Glory is the essence of God. Everything God has that makes him God, God gave it to man. And so when the man was created, there were different manifestations of glory. Number one, man had the wisdom of God. So when God created all the animals, he told the man, go and name them. I will not tell you the name. And the man showed up. He looks at lion. He said, this one is lion. And they checked the register of heaven. God called it lion. He said, this one is eagle. They checked heaven. God called it eagle. He said, this one is snake. They checked heaven. God saw that it was snake. So the wisdom, the intelligence of man was at the frequency of God. But when glory was stolen from man, the Bible said they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. Suddenly the man that was as intelligent as God began to walk in darkness. He said, I have said, ye are gods, because we are the children of the Most High. He said, but you will fall like one of the princes. So when glory left him, spiritual intelligence left him. Brothers and sisters, you can study in Harvard, you can't have spiritual knowledge. You may study in Oxford University, you may not have spiritual knowledge. You may have master's degree, you may have PhD, you may not walk in spiritual knowledge. So when the devil makes you to walk in darkness, it means you don't have glory. And how does he do that? The way he does it is to put sin in your life. And so that time you went to fornicate and you said, nobody saw me. Yes, nobody saw you, but it has made you blind. You cannot read at God's frequency. You cannot see at God's frequency, because the way God designed you was to see like God see, was to talk like God talks. But now that you have allowed sin, you can no longer operate at that level. So a man that should function like God begins to function like an animal.